Reshoevn8r is now available in select Costco's across the nation. Limited edition kit, $70 value, only $18.99 at select Costco's. Click the link below for a store list and more information. They're gonna go fast.
What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For today's restoration project, we got these cooked 2001 Mocha Jordan 3s. I paid 50 bucks for these. As is, I don't think they're worth that, considering they're not even wearable and they don't even have back tabs. This is gonna be a night and day restoration. I've always been a big fan of the 2001 Mochas. They use great quality materials and the colorway is nice and clean, but as is, they don't represent that. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to restore these from top to bottom. Let's get to work. Now for before and after purposes, I'm only going to be working on the right shoe only. I want to get this shoe looking as brand new as possible, so I'm going to start with deconstruction. Is that cool? So I got the majority of the polyurethane off from the midsole. Same thing with the back tab. A lot of it's still underneath the elephant print. All of that will come out later. Before I could give this shoe a good deep clean inside and out, I gotta remove the remaining polyurethane using a spatula and a heat gun. By the way guys, I'm going live on Instagram every Friday. If you wanna see a sneak peek on what I'm working on, tap in. Let's get on to the cleaning. The upper on the sneaker is extremely dirty. I don't think they've ever been cleaned in the last 24 years. The first step in any cleaning is to remove any debris and surface dust using the compressor. The good thing is I'm not worried about any delicate materials. There's not gonna be any bleeding. I don't have any sole separation to worry about. There's no tabs that are gonna fall apart in the washing machine. all I have to do with the soft and medium bristle brush is give it a good scrub inside and out so I can get them ready for the washer. All right, let's complete the deep clean. As always, when it comes to the washing machine, you want to use it with cold water and a regular cycle. Can't forget our detergent pods. Got the shoe out of the washing machine. I got a clean base to work with. Overall, the shoe's looking a lot more white. Same thing on the inside. Now before I can keep it moving, I do gotta lay down some leather filler and paint. But first, I'm gonna use some sandpaper to smooth down the deep scratches. Leather feels a lot smoother. I am gonna have to repaint the entire white leather, but first I have to finish off the prep work with some acetone and cotton balls. I do gotta cover up the brown suede. I don't wanna ruin that. The prep continues. I did remove all the old polyurethane in the beginning of the video. Now I gotta shave off all the old glue using a sharp blade before I can apply some new glue. For this step, you just wanna be very careful with this blade. It's extremely sharp. Typically, my index finger is always exposed, so I have it taped up to prevent any cuts. All the old glue is fully shaved off. Let's get back to the back tab area. Before I can install the new back tab, all the old threads gotta come off. Psych! There's still one more step I gotta do. As you can see in the toe box, there's a lot of creasing going on. It's out of shape. It could look better. So for this step, I'm gonna be using the iron method to take care of that. When doing this step, you wanna make sure the cloth is wet and not textured. If the cloth is textured, when you do the iron method, it's gonna leave an imprint on the leather. Toe box is looking a lot better. Now I got the shoe all taped up. The only areas I left exposed is the white leather. I'm gonna go ahead and airbrush the paint onto the sneaker. The white on the upper isn't brand new, so for the custom mix, I added some cream to match the age. All done with the leather upper, it's back to white. Let's continue the prep work. Right now I'm gonna use the Dremel to finish roughing up the bottom area to get it ready for the reglue. Same thing with the back tab area. Before I can install the new tab, all of this white leather has gotta get roughened up with the 60 grit sanding bit. The donors finally came in from eBay. Most of the time, I'm working on really expensive restorations and I buy brand new donors. In this case, since the shoes I'm working on are 2001 Mochas, they don't go for too much money. It wouldn't make sense to put a brand new sole on this shoe. For one, for this specific situation, I think it'll be a little weird to have a brand new sole on this used upper. And two, as an investment, it doesn't make sense at all. In most cases, it would probably make more sense to restore this 2018 Mocha 3. It's still in great condition. All it really needs is a brand new midsole repaint and a good deep clean. But again, I'm doing this for a few different reasons. I want to show you guys a sick before and after, share with you guys some good knowledge when it comes to a restoration, and lastly, I want to bring these classic 2001s back to life. So with that being said, let's take these shoes apart. First step, I'm going to carefully remove this back tab. This is going to be the donor for the shoe. Once I take this off, we'll worry about the midsoles and the soles. Before we go outside with the acetone and steamer to separate the uppers from the soles, the 2018 Retro is very similar to the 2001s. Overall, they use good leather on the 2018s, very similar to the older pair. The biggest difference is the elephant print. It looks good in some areas, such as up in the front, but back here, it just looks like scuffed up brown leather. It doesn't look good, can't even tell it's elephant print. On the older pair, they use a nice soft suede with elephant print throughout the entire thing, very subtle. By far, the 2001s are better than the 2018s, so at this point, I have no problem taking this shoe apart. All right, let's do some work on the donors. Two things need to happen before I stick this onto the uppers. Gotta give these soles a good deep clean, make them look brand new again. For the midsoles, there's a lot of paint cracking going on and it's scuffed up. I'm gonna wipe off all this paint with some acetone and cotton balls. After that, they'll be ready for the uppers. This is all work that I typically don't have to do on donors because they're always brand new, but that's okay for this one. Midsole is looking clean, but first we gotta give the sole a good deep clean. I'm gonna be using a few products, a Rejuvenator solution, medium bristle brush to give the back tab a good clean. As you can see, all around the drum mat, it's scuffed up. This will take care of that. And lastly, I'm gonna be using our brass bristle brush. This brush by far has the toughest bristles, and it's gonna give the sole a good deep clean. Now before I do some prep work and remove all the old glue, I gotta age the soles. The shoes that I'm working on are from 2001. All the Mochas that I've seen from that era are aged at this point. That means the back tabs and any white plastic or rubber on the shoe has a cream tint to it. I wanna make sure that matches perfectly. I don't want a brand new white on the sneaker. That's where the coffee comes into play. Now for the boring part, before I can start piecing everything together, I gotta add some simulated stitching onto the back tab and on the bottom of the brown elephant print. I'm gonna be using some brown thread and some white thread and a needle. This step is pretty time consuming, but it's easy to do. Once I get the stitching on, I'm gonna glue it onto the shoe and it'll look like it was stitched on. Onto the midsole. I don't hate the color at the moment. If you guys know what a 2001 Mocha 3 looks like in person, it ages exactly like this. The white paint fades off. This looks identical to a 2001. However, I don't really think it'll fit this restoration. So, got some white paint mixed with some yellow and cream paint for a nice age tone. I'm gonna lay it down with the airbrush. That should do the trick. Paint job looks nice and smooth. Check out that air unit, nice and clean. No paint where there shouldn't be. Matches the toe caps nicely. Now on the inside, there's a ton of old glue on the toe cap area, all over the polyurethane as well. All of that's gotta come off before we apply the new glue. I'm gonna be using a metal drill bit. That's gonna be used specifically on the rubber toe cap area. And then this right here is a smoother grit. I'm gonna be using that all over the polyurethane midsole so I don't cause any damage. Glue is fully removed from the soles, same thing with the uppers. I'm gonna go outside, lay down some glue on the uppers, soles, and the back tabs, let it cure for a little bit before we stick everything together. Glue is fully cured on the soles, uppers, and the back tabs. First, I'm gonna start with the back tabs. I'm gonna make sure it lines up perfectly all around. It's gotta be perfectly centered. Once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna use my finger, keep the middle part in place, and then hit the sides with some heat. Back tab is locked in. It looks really good on these uppers. Now, as always, I got some tape on the uppers, on the front and the back. Same thing with the soles. This is gonna help me line it up. I'm gonna add a little bit of heat on the toe cap area, bind them together, let it dry for a bit, and then I'm gonna jump to the back and then do the rest of the sides. All right, guys, onto the final details of this restoration. All I gotta do now is apply the stitching onto the toe cap, do some touch-up paint on the back tab, and lace it up. All right, guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on this full restoration on these 2001 Mocha Jordan 3s. These are what I like to call a day and night restoration. Everything was wrong with this sneaker. I gave it a good massive deep clean inside and out using Rejuvenator products. After that, it was just a bunch of work. The uppers needed a good repaint, but the biggest difference in this project was adding new back tabs, new midsoles, and soles. After doing this restoration, I definitely think going with the used sole was the best bet for this project. It saved me some money, and I'll be honest, for this specific restoration, the amount of money and time I put into them, it was definitely not worth it. But the good thing is, the knowledge that I use on these sneakers can be applied to a sneaker that is worth it. Now, my job here is done. I'm honestly not gonna do anything with the second shoe. However, I would love to see one of you guys take on this restoration. I still have the second donor right here. This shoe is untouched. You guys just saw the full video, and there's a ton of other restoration videos on Jordan 3s on the channel that you can reference. If you're interested, comment down below with your Instagram handle, and I'll pick one lucky winner to send these shoes and the donors with a Rejuvenator kit. Good luck, everyone. This is Vick Almighty. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.